Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play Combat Mission beyond Overlord. It's the second battle in Carentan operation, and as you can see it's raining, but fortunately it's dry. Rain, but dry. Kind of weird combination, but I guess it's just started raining, so it might change to wet conditions after a while. And as you can also see, it's night battle. Kind of weird because mission briefing said the night battle will fall on the third battle, but here we are. Maybe we were waiting for the reinforcements that we just saw, or we suffered a whole lot by the German artillery in the first battle. I lost like 100, not 100, but 55 men with around 15 of them KIA. So it's a substantial amount of injury and casualties that the 101st Airborne took, so maybe they decided to regroup and prepare and managed to skip the battle into the night. Night battle offers, I guess it is a bit of a double-edged sword because the visibility, as you can see, has been cut severely, so the infantry can only target 80 meters or so. I don't know how that calculates to yards or feet, but 80 meters is just, I think, 1/3 of what we were able to do in the first battle with dry and clear conditions. This is the next area that we have to take because we're not able to even enter into St. Come-du-Mont in the first battle. We really need to take it, rejoin our forces, although the deployment will take care of that pretty ably. And try to push on ahead and to take more of the map, as much map as possible. More map has been revealed to us, a mix of similar looking terrains, bocage, road lined with some cover, some high terrain rolling into sloping downward to the riverbank, perhaps. Some little wheat fields here and there, some bocage. And this is the deployment that I managed to figure out. Well, not really figure out, but just trying my best to deploy the reinforcement. There in the middle. And here, the left side, they're the ones who battled the Germans across the road on the far field. They're in a similar position, but all hiding, just in case you can surprise them when the Germans we fought the last battle decides to stay in the same place and cross the road, trying to flank us. We'll be ready. Then here are the reinforcements, a mix of some good troops, along with the artillery spotter, 100 the big artillery, so it's pretty good, but only has around 30 shells or so, so we need to make sure that we use them right. Yeah, and these guys will try to meet the rest of the group in the St. Come-du-Mont by forking right after advancing to the road. And here is the main thrust of the 101st Airborne, now trying to enter into St. Come-du-Mont and take any coverage that they can. There's some buildings that we can still take. And here I'm just testing out the range of the tanks, and it is also cut down pretty severely. It's able to only target 100 meters in front of it, both unbuttoned and buttoned. So it is probably just preferable to lay them or let them be dormant for this battle, because the difference in range between the Panzerschreck that might be hiding somewhere in any of these covers and the reduced range of the tank is rather similar now. Normally, Panzerschreck can target 150 meters, and okay, so attempt to skip night combat. Well, you can skip it, perhaps praying for a better weather in the morning to get a better visibility and whatnot, but I am kind of behind schedule. I do think that there should have been another battle before the night, and I'm not even in the town, so need to really make use of the night if possible, exploit the lack of visibility in order to use the speed and the veterancy of the troops to make sure that the town is in our hands and we can better defend. If we cannot advance from St. Come-du-Mont, at least we have a pretty good starting point where we can regroup and reorganize, push forward to the river. Yeah, so this is the first turn, and the commands just general advance along the coverage in the left side or in the center. You're using the cover, the bush, and yeah, the main force is trying to also use artillery to target supposed German positions. And here is the new reinforcement guys trying to approach the road using the cover, sneaking. And here, trying to go into the nearest cover, the rubble of the buildings that our artillery was able to destroy. Tanks stay dormant, but they're moving forward to keep pace, because I don't want to just leave the armor to their own devices. A scary prospect. Yeah, so it's raining and kind of loud, so I guess even the sound content is going to be suppressed, so you're not gonna like hear a tank coming in the distance, for example, until it's too late. And I think everybody would think every German tank is going to be a Tiger. Yeah. So they're moving into nearest cover. Thunder, lightning. You having cool if there was a cool like thunder, lightning effect or something that you can actually use to identify troops in that split second. Maybe it's impossible. Yeah, that is the recon, and I got my gunner back. He was injured in the last battle, but the gunner's back, so all three crew is able to join us. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but it's nice to see some of these guys coming back. So next turn is just continuing on from our last turn. Just keep advancing and bring up the rear. The middle is just going as far as possible to the road. Maybe a bit too far away from where you want to be, which is the town itself. But I split up the group once again to directly target one of the buildings in the outskirts of the town. I don't know whether it's going to be laid waste by an ambush, because I mean it's just a secluded place, and the Germans might be waiting in one of these buildings in the town. And I have no idea how the German deployment went. Maybe they're still waiting for us in the church, or maybe they are outskirts of the town and trying to rush to get into some of these covers, some of these buildings to make a strong point out of it. But we just go forth, these scouting groups. And these are the group in the middle, trying to head toward the road. And the graphical size of these soldiers are, I think, 1+, which is one level above its normal size. So these guys are rather big for the rest of the terrain. Just for visibility's sake, it doesn't really affect the performance on the field. Yeah, so these guys are bringing up the rear. And now trying to head into the first house that we see, the scouting party. These guys are trying to cross into the hedge and join with the rest of the group. Alright, so second turn is over. Third turn, we still try to warm our artilleries up. Yeah, and then if it is about to strike, then I give a different order, just in case, because I don't want to really waste any shells that I could be aiming at the Germans. Well, I just don't want any delay either, so I'm just trying to warm up the artillery a bit, and then if it is about to fire, I give them a bit of a configure them to give them a different target, but adjacent to where they were targeting, so the delay is not as long. Yeah, so that's my tactic for this battle. I don't know whether it's... I mean, it worked in the last battle, last operation, rather, Canadian Armageddon, where I was able to give these kind of orders where I suspect the Germans would be. Target with the artillery, and then if there's no Germans there, I just target a bit away from where I used to target. So that is going to give them around 30 seconds or so of delay, but it's not going to reset the whole thing, which means that I have to wait like 2 turns for it to actually even begin to fire. So I think that is another way you can make use of artillery if you're in a pinch and if you want artillery support very quickly. Okay, it's counting down from 49 seconds for this artillery spotter. These guys are going to that house on the outskirts of Come-du-Mont. And this guy's already entered one, and I find no Germans, so that's good for us, because that is a pretty good cover that we can base further action. And here, once again, they just disappear into the... Well, I guess they went in through the window, but yeah, there's no Germans there either, so that's good. There used to be some kind of machine gunner in the last battle. Yeah, so no battles yet, no encounter yet, I guess, due to the low visibility. You're not able to see each other. Let's see if this is going to... Yeah, as you can see, I gave them a different target for the artillery because they're about to fire, so I try to delay the action a bit as we are trying to take the center of the town here. And the same thing, just using the scouting party to move a bit further, followed by the supporting test of the rest of the airborne guys, trying to overwatch and in a sort of a position where they can support fire. Tanks try to move into the road. Yeah, so it's a lot of individual orders. Trying to be very methodical about this little advance through the road. And this guy is now entering the hedge. We're going into the house over there. They're being supported by, on the right side, this guy already in the building. Yeah, so we are taking the center of Come-du-Mont, which is good, very good, without being fired upon. So I suspect the Germans were pushed back from their initial defensive position there in the first battle. Kind of unfortunate because they could still hold some of these parts pretty well and push us back and force us to use artillery running the town. But I think right now they also need to move toward the town. It's only a matter of time that we're going to face each other in the rain. Yeah, so we reach... Oh, okay, so there's the first German soldier and second one now traveling along the road, presumably toward the town as well. But they started a bit farther away, I guess, from the field where we identified them in the first battle. They moved. Seems like they're running, even. And they're using the road to move as quick as possible toward the town, these 2 units. But we are able to intercept them as they were about to... Yeah, they were able to move past the crossroad here. Or the... Well, it's a bit of a crossroad, but only 3 roads. And the rest of the troops here, moving briskly to... They're moving, not sneaking anymore. They're moving to support the advanced unit, now able to identify and aim at the Germans. And here as well, we are trying to be more aggressively take the rest of the buildings because we identify the Germans moving. We want to be ready and maybe lay an ambush on them in time for their arrival. Give them a bit of a rude welcome. So I think this is turn 6. Tanks following up. Same here as well. Kind of scared to move the tank right beside the hedge, but I am confident that there will be no German on the other side of the hedge. So this guy is not shooting at the German, and I believe I remember giving them a strict order to just crawl into the tall pine, but they just couldn't help it. They had to take a couple shots in and, you know, notify Germans of our presence. I don't know what Frank is going to have, but here's another one. Here's another new unit that is advancing directly for the church. Fortunately, our unit's already there. A couple buildings back is able to target the German. And he is now suppressed. Trying to cross into the nearest building, it seems. Yeah, you can see them pretty well, even in the darkness. And I assume that there's no light at all. It's really complete pitch darkness with a lot of rain. So it's like sensory deprivation on many different aspects. I don't know how they're able to see even like 50 meters, let alone 78 or 80. I mean, I have not been in situations where I am in complete darkness, but I've been pretty nervous. And of course, this being a game, I'm able to identify and see where everybody is, which is a huge advantage. But then, like in reality, there's a lot of trouble coordinating, and there's a lot of confusion. So they have to use like different signals, not hand signals, but kind of sound signals or something. Try to identify using like clicks and stuff like that. But I don't know how they would help in this rain. Doesn't seem like a heavy rain because the terrain is still dry. I guess we can still traverse rather quickly. And these guys are all veteran troops. They're able to just follow orders in a drop of a hat. It is just really refreshing to see, controlling veteran units. They're really dependable. They do not really phase under pressure, even though they're like German shells landing like everywhere in the last battle. I don't think there was one unit that was routed or panicked, except for the, of course, the border guys. But these guys are really dependable, and they're able to shoot pretty well. Yeah, so they are trying to go into the church. Yeah, they're running now, but they want to take the church for themselves, of course. And here, I think, yeah, so here we are, right in the building, come to face with the German guy. I don't know why I cut away from that encounter. Okay, so we turned to the inside this building, fighting, perhaps hand to hand, throwing grenades and just everything. Yeah, splinters like flying everywhere. They even throw like big gammon bombs meant for tanks. I don't know why, but it's gonna make a big explosion. Yeah, that was a gammon bomb explosion that is able to maybe level small buildings, and apparently this guy is really scared. That's the first unit that was routed, that unit that just came out of the building running. They just couldn't take it. And they keep throwing everything, throwing the kitchen sink, and able to destroy one of these guys. Yeah, so they're also shocked at seeing their comrades cracking their pants or something. Yeah, because they're airborne and they're not supposed to do that. I don't think they were damaged or anything. They didn't even lose a soldier, but they just got spooked by the cannon bomb, the big explosion. Maybe they thought a tank was shooting at them. Alright, so we are fighting really early, it seems. But I think we've taken some of the buildings in the middle of the town, so we're in a good position. Very good position to fend up these Germans, especially from this position, where we have them in crossfire. Very enviable position. Okay, so the other guy managed to cross the hatch and into the house. And all these houses are ours, and we try to take this house and that house. Yeah, all them houses we have our eye on. I don't know about those houses, but yeah, we take all the houses. We want a lot of these houses. Try to escape from any artillery the Germans might have prepared for us now that we've revealed our location. And these guys are running. They're suppressed, and I think they're very under strength. So they're running to the nearest cover in the field. And we're just content to let them run for now until we get everything ready. And we get everything ready, and there's another unit. arriving from where we first saw them near the crossroads on the left side. And we are prepared for them. Although they're in a pretty good coverage of all times, we are able to use a rifle grenade like this and just bombard them at the same time as stripping at them in multiple angles. So then I'm able to effectively fortify this position. Yeah, another rifle grenade. I actually believe that they can throw that with their hand, but just too inaccurate. I think that's a rifle grenade, and it's pretty cool. It's like a small mortar, but not as accurate or powerful. But it's still pretty good deterrent. Yeah, so the group here has made it into the road. That's good. So we can intercept further Germans. And now these guys, I decided to get some of these guys out of hiding and put them near the road. And here, yeah, we are busy fighting and advancing and trying to outflank the Germans. So all in all, it's a brisk pace. We already took the town, more or less, and I can decide to move forward and try to reach the house over yonder in the far part of the town, the outskirts. But yeah, I think it's prudent for us to just keep enforcing and entrenching our positions. These guys also running. Yeah, so we are shooting. We're fighting pretty well against this low German unit. They're not very well coordinated, so we can take them one by one. And this guy got out because there are just too many people in the house. They tend to do that. First time it happened, I was really confused and angry, very annoyed. It is their fatherland now. No, it's not even their fatherland. Yeah, it's still France. Normandy. Alright, so these guys are still hiding, but some of them are moving to support our guys on the road. And here we are moving further units into the, I think the HQ units further into the rubble, the cover. Yeah, so we defeated back some Germans. They might come back, of course. We need to watch out. In the meantime, we can strengthen our position. The town, as you can see, yeah, we are moving a lot of different units. So to strengthen our position, fortify them, and still trying to delay the artillery action a bit by giving them different targets. But I think it's about time that I need to decide, because yeah, I don't think I can keep doing this forever. Just guessing where the Germans are is an interesting exercise. I cannot really see them, but I can expect them to come from the recent encounter that I got. So I'm moving one artillery target to the far side, near the other highway, on the left side, as you can see right there, yeah. Because I saw some Germans coming from this position. But that is going to make me wait on the left side around 2 minutes for the artillery to reposition itself. It's a big one too, so 2 or 3 minutes. Artillery spotters are veterans too, so I don't know whether that is going to make things quicker, make the delay a bit less. Yeah, here's the left side, the HQ unit trying to support our guys. They are without their HQ effect. Yeah, a lot of troops are moving into buildings and going up in the buildings, second-story buildings. These guys are already ready to move out into the wheat field toward those small 3 houses. Yeah, so we are ready to once again move out to take the rest of the town, and these guys are already going out. Yeah, going out into the other side of the town, across the road. So we face some Germans, we push them away, we expect more Germans, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that there's a gray square that just revealed itself near the town. Here, the road heading out of the town. I don't notice it right here. I'm oblivious of the fact that there's a German guy. I think I noticed it now. Yeah. So I decided to move this guy into the house. Yeah, as you can see, I noticed it right now. So I decided to move this guy into the covers. And that cover I chose to be this house. And gave another order to unit that is following it to support it. And try to aim at it if they can. Measuring the line of sight, so it's not enough, so I need to move another unit or something to help outflank it. We are in a higher ground, definitely. So the road that the Germans are using to counterattack is in a lower area. Yeah, so yeah, I continue to move these guys for the scrap of cover in the road, and then I try to push forward on that side as well. Yeah, trying to sneak into that house, but I don't know whether this unit is going to be seen. Definitely is in the range though. They're being really careful. They're noticing the Germans are right there looking at them. So yeah, they finally decide to move after some delay. And followed by a bunch of different troops. So these guys are moving forward into, well, they're taking the road, another road into the town. And there's some shots ringing out. I don't know what exactly it came from. Very exactly came from, but I know exactly where this came from. Yeah, from there. So just before entering the house, the unit got noticed, got revealed and was shot, and I think I lost 2 soldiers with that brief exchange. That's pretty bad for us. Just before we were able to enter and be a bit safer. Yeah, just ripped into us. So yeah, at least we are trying to crawl into the house now. Yeah, don't want to stand up in any case because we'll be detected once again and blasted by their accurate fire. The Germans are all veterans too. They're Forschungsjägers, the German version of the airborne. So they're really hardy guys. Forschungsjägers and pioneers are some of the best soldiers that you can use in this game, I find. But airbornes are no slouch as well, and I had the pleasure of using the Rangers in one mission, and I was really impressed by their accuracy and the ability to just bust pillboxes with bazookas and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And the Germans are now charging. They found us trying to cross into the road, and now they're trying to attack us, I guess, near the building, but yeah, this guy was lying in wait, or they're on their knees waiting. So they're able to effectively fend this guy off from the higher ground, no less. Yeah, so I guess I was lucky that I used different troops to support the guys moving forward to the scouting party. And this German is actually also moving. Seems everything is squeezed together, so I think this is like more akin to my playing style. I get a bit annoyed and anxious. Oh, okay, I was able to defeat them entirely. Eliminated them from the game. Yeah, but like I said, it seems more squeezed together because of limited visibility, and it's a kind of web of troops that I'm trying to cast over this area. So if one guy gets one gets like their marks, or oversteps their bound and gets hit, there's always another guy on the side nearby to try to help and try to support fire. So I think this is my preferred way of playing, but then in normal conditions, if I do that, if I try to bunch up the troops, there's always that case like you've seen in the last battle with our German artillery shelling our positions, and if you're like kind of punched together, there is more casualties that's going to result from that, from bunched up soldiers. But here it's limited visibility, and I'm able to space out to my preference without suffering the consequences. So of course, there may come a point where the German artillery acts up once again, but this time I'm in the houses, so I expect a bit more coverage and a bit more protection. Yeah, so once again, more Germans are moving up. I think they're also moving up toward the town, but then I was able to arrive a bit earlier than them, so I'm able to take advantage of this high ground and also better cover. And this time, I'm going to be using the artillery to support this frontline troops engaged in battle. I suffered one loss right there. So taking on some casualties, but still in a pretty good position, I think. Because I expect, like I said, artillery to support us. But if they get too close, then it's going to be in the range of our own artillery, so it's going to be problematic. We need to just get them as far away from us as possible. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job here, making them run away. Yeah, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Yeah, on the left side, the German guy, I wasn't able to track it. Disappeared into the cover, so I think it's just waiting and setting up some kind of defense on the road. Maybe it was a prior command that was given to try to counter the Americans trying to cross that different highway past Come-du-Mont. Yeah, so artilleries are now targeting this area where the Germans are. So the gulag of the Germans have been found, while trying to still put up the sustained fire into that area, bring also some of the rear guys front. And now we are moving along the road. And yeah, some of these guys, HQ unit has arrived finally to support our guys there as well. And the artillery is now not even a minute away from, well, that guy is a minute, just under a minute away from shelling the positions. Yeah, so we are bringing up more guys at an angle where they're not being detected as they move forward in the open ground. It's a heavy firefight, but we have more men and higher ground as well. Still, yeah, pretty confident. I also bring in some machine guns from the rear to see if I can set up positions on the second floor of this building. HQ unit has arrived at the house, along with another unit, rather fresh unit. Yeah, there's an additional unit that is popping up right there. So need to watch out and stay vigilant. And you can hear the artillery is not falling. Yeah, so they're targeting the Germans actively. Well, there could be a big closer, but I was afraid of friendly fire and just try to see if I can stem the flow of the Germans coming into this area by targeting a road a bit further up ahead, or further away. Yeah, still trying to bring up more troops from the rear on the right side. Left side continued progress until we encounter some German defenses. Then we're going to see if we can push them away. Yeah, so artillery is going to fall there without question. And here we are trying to also advance from the house to flank the Germans. And as you can see, using the cover to move up, just one by one, brush by brush, cover by cover, into this area where we hope to join up if our progress is fast enough. But I'll be just happy to take Come-du-Mont and regroup there. I feel that I was lucky to have arrived at the center of the town and reinforced the position quickly. Was wondering whether the Germans might be arriving first or whether they'd be there in the first place, but they weren't. So they were pushed back somehow. And now they have to have this uphill battle right here. Now the artillery is shells falling on our side for some reason. Yeah, the artillery is... I don't know why it's... Oh my gosh, that sucks. But yeah, no injuries. Fortunately, that guy is really lucky, that mortar guy. I don't know why the artillery shells are falling so close. Maybe the Germans have also started shelling our positions. I really hope that I didn't give an order that was, I mean, kind of complicated due to the weather that just started targeting our troops in the town. That could be disastrous because, I mean, there are a lot of bunches of soldiers. Yeah, we are driving these guys out, and some of the Germans are being hit by the shells. Less coverage, but yeah, I just don't know, maybe the Germans are also targeting us. I hope that it is the case. Yeah, really, really hope that is the case. Cannot rule out though on my mistake of giving a bit too close the targeting range for that 76mm mortar. For the 100mm ones, yeah, I gave them an order to target a bit, farther away, so I guess that's no problem. But the 76mm, I just didn't think that I gave enough attention, and I'm suffering for it. Yeah, I'm kind of spooked by the artillery now. This bazooka guy is running away on its own accord because he had enough, apparently. Also moving the armor back because I don't want any inadvertent shells falling and disabling our tank. That'd be very, very bad. Yeah, so I'm reversing the armor. I don't know why I didn't change the targeting range for my 76mm even after I suspected friendly fire. Yeah, there's I don't know if that's going to lead to further damage, then it's a really bad decision on my part. Very lax and poor mistake after mistake. I mean, things are going well, but now this is just making things rather uncomfortable. I'm not doing this purposefully or try to ratchet up tension or anything like that. It just happened. I forgot to, even after the first turn of apparently our own artillery targeting our troops, I didn't give a different order. I just stayed put. I mean, the situation was not desperate either, so I don't know why I just decided to keep shelling our positions like this. I really hope that the Germans are also using their artillery spotters, because yeah, I just don't want to think that I shot my own troops for 2 straight turns. Yeah, so I don't know, it just didn't work out as I hoped. And I think next turn I wisen up and then give, as you can see, I kind of lengthen the targeting range for their artillery farther up the road. Maybe stupid, but not aggressively stupid. I realized my mistake and then tried to correct my mistake right there. Could have been better if I, decided to do this turn earlier. Yeah, there was I don't know. I don't see any shells falling now, so I believe that was our own artillery. Giving them a new distraction to target a bit of, target a different range is going to cause a bit of delay, and the delay is basically what you see right now. So it could have been our own artillery shelling our position, so that was pretty bad. But I managed to eliminate another unit. Yeah, push them away. So the artillery did take effect to disperse some of the Germans. Then here is that guy on the left side. And to defeat in order to move up the road, use that highway. I think we are in good position there as well. And now the artillery resumes firing. I don't know why that thing landed so near, but that happens, I guess, in cold weather. Yeah, you know, this guy is being hit from all sides. Yeah, throwing grenades and the like, finally runs away. They really love throwing grenades. Yeah, it's a pretty good deterrent, and also they have to ferret out any guys in entrenchment. So readjustment for the artillery to target that house, which I'm sure is crawling with defenders, while we take care of the last of the remnants of the counterattacking party. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good defense. Right after we arrived at St. Come-du-Mont, we were able to set up some nice positions, fortify them, and defeated a counterattack in the rain, no less. And I think the rain served us pretty well in this case because they had to enclose their distance. And if they close the distance, the advantage of their guns, another unit is down. If they enclose their distance, some of the formidable guns like MG42s and 43s and SPGs, it's not as effective, I guess, because they had to force themselves into positions of our own choosing and be ambushed. And if it's closer distance, then the amount of effectiveness evens out a bit. Yeah, like MG42s can inflict heavy damage even at 300 meters. Another unit is gone in the hedge, caught in the hedge. I don't know why it decided to cross the hedge in the first place. But I guess he was trying to figure out a way into that house from a different angle. But yeah, we were able to see because we have like tons of units there. And you can see some damages that our artillery did against our troops. Or, I don't know, maybe German artillery did against our troops. Some of the machine gun positions I see are immobile because only one unit survives out of the group. So next turn. Yeah, so I decided to stop one artillery to save up to direct the fire to targets that I can visibly identify. So we have some good numbers going into going out of the positions right now and trying to advance, follow the Germans. And one of the reasons I stopped artillery strikes is also because that we are not moving ahead. I don't want any units being cut off once again in the barrage. So I'm stopping one artillery. I think the 105mm one, the powerful one. Yeah, and then we are now advancing. We're trying to advance now using the road and follow the Germans that are kind of retreating back. It'd be nice if you can reach the house over there on the far. Yeah, right there. It'd be nice if we can reach there, but I think it's a bit too far for us. I mean, it's turn 18, so we have around 2 more turns, and even if we run in this condition, it's not going to be possible. And there'll be some Germans also hiding in that, line of cover still beside the road, so I think we'll be stopped before we can reach the house. Only thing that we can hope for is whether our gains in territory is going to push ahead to include that area where we can set up our next staging ground, next deployment. So artillery started shelling in the position. I have no idea whether there will be some German guns or even some Panzerschrecks. Never seen a Panzerschreck in this battle. They are hiding somewhere in the back, perhaps. Yeah, in the left we are trying to move and sweep into the highway, advance a bit further. Same thing goes here. Yeah, the main party that's now moving out of St. Come-du-Mont. And there's another group trying to use that cover, to try to get as close as possible to the house. When the two highways going together. Yeah, one thing I kind of overlooked was the HQ unit. I mean, they're there in the rear, but some of the distances, yeah, some of them were a bit too far back, so their effect was not, so they're not able to lead the troops as intended. Some of the units, just like the unit that I used as a starting party in the beginning phase of the battle, did not have any HQ unit in its presence, so I guess that kind of yeah, made it difficult for them to avoid injury or perform better. I need to make sure that I get the HQ unit and then, you know, get them involved in the battles. But so far, most of the HQ unit has survived the battle. Some of them, I think, suffer some injury due to the artillery strikes, but they're mostly intact. And they're pretty effective too. They're very effective fighting guys. The last battle, yeah, still continuing that similar pace, similar progress. Hopefully we're able to catch some other remnants of Germans and manage to eliminate them. And I can only guess as to what the morale is for the Germans, but I think they're going to get some additional reinforcements in the next battle. Because you're able to defeat them, you know, I don't know exactly how many casualties were inflicted, but as you can see, I mean, I did inflict some heavy casualties. And it seems, yeah, it seems pretty interesting that the Germans could not bring their armor or any heavy weapons. Even a mortar, they could have helped, I guess. Yeah, we found this guy on the road. Yeah, so these guys were retreating back from the counterattack that failed. Yeah, and we were able to hit them from both sides, 3 sides. And these guys are able to find the additional troops, and one was eliminated. The other guy, yeah, was saved by the clock. So, yeah, so there was another battle, the night battle. Suffered 21 casualties, probably half of it because of the artillery strike that could have been ours. But on the whole, I think it was a pretty good battle for us, yeah. Still 360 men okay, and now, wow, so quiet and peaceful. Just, morning calm has returned, and I see myself kind of lowering my voice to match the environment. Yeah, the morning has come, and now we have to see how much the map has been revealed, and I see some body of water in the distance. And the house is rather close, so that's going to be our imminent objective. On the left side as well, we made some good progress, so finally we can... well, I mean, I could make them one unit as whole, but I think I like the setup that I had going in the last battle, with 2 separate forces helping each other and trying to block one part of the German defenses from, you know, joining each other and be more effective fighting force. And you can see the Douve River. Thanks La Douve. And yeah, some similar terrain awaits us. Less cover, but some nice cover alongside the road. There'll be some Germans definitely hiding there. And some hedgerows. I need to be very careful with that. There might be some Panzer strikes now with restored range of vision or firing range, trying to take aim at us, along with the German guns and, you know, the rest of the troops. And this is now clear and dry, so we got our range back. Yeah, 100 meters, 200 meters. So it's going to be a whole different story, but yeah, this is first time I battled through rain and darkness, and it came out pretty good. Came out pretty good for us, so... well, maybe it's not good for us. I don't know, like, maybe the Germans really didn't lose a lot of troops. At least I was able to capture St. Come-du-Mont and now have another objective in the form of La Douve. And there's actually marshland just before crossing into the river, so I need to be mindful of that. Alright, so that was another battle for Combat Mission Beyond Overlord. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, in Battle 3, please stay tuned.